Hello, friends. Hello, friends. My name is Teacher Evelyn or Evelyn Joy, and welcome back to my channel. During my class that didn't book today, I began reading chapter 2, and I finished abruptly because I realized that during that whole video, my headphones were plugged in and setting to the side, so I wasn't sure how my volume was on that video and wasn't sure if I would delete it. But then I went ahead and listened to the video, and it sounds like YouTube automatically connected to the microphone that's in my external webcam, and so the sound was good. Continuing with reading this book, Parenting Teens with Love and Logic, I would like to read the rest of the chapter that we're on, but it is rather lengthy, so we will see how far we get. We're on chapter 2. We're currently reading about helicopter parents. Because I stopped so abruptly, we're actually halfway down the page on page 38. Reading about helicopter parents. Okay. Other moms and dads sometimes regard helicopter parents as model citizens. After all, look at how involved they are. They're on every committee and seem to be at school more than some of the teachers. They seem so caring. They're always there for their kids. They have it in quotation marks. Besides, the dangers are so real, so kids need rescuing, right? But if you look just under the surface, you'll discover that helicopter parents often do things for their kids because of the way the parents feel. Out of love or guilt, they will refrain from imposing or allowing consequences because they feel uncomfortable with consequences. When their children hurt, they bail them out because they hurt too. Helicopter parents behave the way they do because they confuse love, protection, and caring. Each of these concepts is good, but they aren't synonymous with each other. Helicopter parents won't allow their children to fail. If their kids fail, they mistakenly reason it means because they are uncaring and unloving parents. Rescuing parents often rescue out of their own needs. Ouch. They unconsciously enjoy healing another's hurts. They are parents who need to be needed, not parents who want to be wanted. Children who are raised with the love of helicopter parents will turn into helicopters themselves. But someday they will run out of fuel and crash in their personal lives. Why? Because their learning opportunities have stolen from them in the name of love. These kids keep breaking the speed limit because they know dad will pay the fine, or they engage in promiscuous sex because mom paid for the birth control pills. Few years later, they flunk out of college, mishandle what little money they have, and meander about getting their heads together. The real world, these young adults discover, doesn't offer a grand helicopter parent in the sky to heal their diseases, pay for their bounce checks, save them from irresponsible people, or literally bail them out of jail. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there because I want to talk a little bit to you guys about helicopter parents. I think of three different things when I think of helicopter parents. First, I think of some situations that are pretty extreme on Dr. Phil. Second, I think of kids in school that I was jealous of because their parents were way more involved than mine. And third, I think of what tendencies do I have towards being a helicopter parent? What do I need to be careful of, right? So let's talk about that a little bit. First, on Dr. Phil, obviously these are extreme cases, but we see kids that are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, or 20s, and they are like addicted to drugs and in and out of jail, but their parents always bail them out. Their parents always let them live rent-free at home, and they don't learn responsibility. So that's not good. But those are extreme cases, obviously. But that's a helicopter parent. And those parents, oftentimes one of them wants to rule with an iron fist while the other one wants their child to be their baby forever, which I can relate to that because I want my children to be my babies forever. But you have to, how do baby birds learn how to fly, right? They have to fall from the nest. They have to be pushed. You can't just keep your baby birds in the nest forever, or they are going to be hindered into becoming the independent birds that they should be, right? So I don't know if that analogy makes any sense. It made sense in my brain. I don't know out loud how it makes sense. But second, in school, okay, so my mom was either a single mom or we had weird stepdads or whatever when I was growing up. And so she was working as a teacher. So she was never able to come to our class parties, our field trips, PTA, whatever. She would just come, and she didn't help me with my homework or anything. And obviously she worked during the day when we were in school. So if I forgot my lunch, that was on me. If I forgot my backpack, that was on me. You know, she's not coming to my rescue at school. But at the same time, I saw parents who were more involved, and I don't think that's wrong. But I saw other people's parents who brought them homemade lunches to school or came to the field trips with us. And I was honestly jealous of that. And I honestly made a mental note to myself that I want to be more involved with my kids. Now that comes to me. I have a picture of what I don't want to be, but I have to be careful of running from an extreme to another extreme, right? And from I had uninvolved parents, therefore I'm going to be a helicopter parent. No, that's not right. There are some things that I learned and that I've observed from other kids who their parents were so involved and they were so dependent, not independent, or they were so reckless with their behavior because their parents didn't hold them accountable with the consequences. I knew that when I wrecked my mom's car that I would have to pay for it and I wouldn't be able to drive her car ever again. I knew that I had to live up to my consequences. If I had been promiscuous in high school and gotten pregnant, then I would be raising a child at a young age. I was aware of that. And I honestly had a lot of respect for pregnant teens in my high school. I was friendly to them and asked them how they're feeling and doing, because I honestly thought how courageous of them to follow through and still continue with school and still continue with the pregnancy when being a pregnant teen is really hard. And so I really respected them, whereas a lot of people gave them side eyes and judged them, and they were promiscuous in high school and I wasn't. So that's a little bit of a tangent, but the thing is just living up to your consequences of your actions, right? So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. With my kids are real little. So they come running to mommy when they get hurt, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's important that they know that I'm a shelter that they can turn to. But I can't be hovering over them, not allowing them to live life or be independent or learn how to do things on their own. Do I prevent accidents? Yeah, I try to, but I also have to realize that if my child gets hurt, it's not my fault. I can try to help them, but also while guiding them through life, teaching my kids how to be independent is an important part of helping them and guiding them. So not thinking that I have to do everything, but teaching them how to do it too. An example right now of that is teaching my kids to pick up their toys, teaching my kids, what to do if they get hurt. what to do in different situations. I've had to teach my kids. I'm trying to teach my kids a major thing I'm trying to teach them is to work through their own problems without involving their parents. So that means if two of my kids start battling over a toy, I have taught them skills for them to work it out. Do I step in and intervene? Yes, if I see that they're not handling it right. But a lot of times what I'm doing is I'm coaching them on how they can handle the situation in the future. And sometimes I give them an option to either work it out or I'm going to give them both consequences. So I can say, get another toy for your brother so that you can have the toy that he's trying to take from you, or I'm going to take that toy away. So you can choose to work it out by finding a toy for your baby brother so he'll stop taking your toy away. Or if you two are just having a squabble over this toy and you're not going to work it out by getting him another toy, I'm going to take that toy away so the squabble's done. So I'm teaching them that it's better for them to work things out when mama's not involved, because when mama gets involved, there's consequences for everybody. And that's no fun. So that's important. But obviously I have to be careful too how much helicoptering I'm doing. Okay, let's see. Page 39. So as I'm reading this, I'm thinking of examples I've seen and possible examples in myself, right? The evolution of the helicopter parent. And you know what? My kids are real young. So I'm just beginning to teach them independence. But I think part of the problem is a lot of times mentally, parents are thinking of their children as a 2-year-old when they're 16. When a child is 16, they're going to have a lot more responsibilities and a lot more independence than a 2-year-old. And if you treat a 16-year-old like a 2-year-old, they're going to resent you. I mean, 16-year-olds naturally resent their parents anyway, right? Okay, page 39. And so that was under the heading of helicopter parent. And if you read if you read this book or watched the former video, the beginning of this chapter said that we're going to be talking about 2 different kinds of parents. And the first one is helicopter parent. So the title of this, right here, it says the evolution of the helicopter parent, the jet-powered attack model. The military equipped version. Okay. When we first wrote this book, helicopter parents seemed to be worried only about rescuing their kids from crisis situations. In the midst of the prosperity of the 1990s, a new type emerged that no longer just rescued and defended, but also flew in with guns blazing and missiles locked to attack anyone who held their child accountable for his or her actions. Stop right there. That is something I will not do. If a teacher, if a teacher or a police officer is trying to hold my kid accountable, I'm going to be on their team and hold my kid accountable. Will I have empathy for my child? Yes. Will I keep them from having consequences? No. So, sorry. Continuing. We have come to call this the jet-powered attack model of the helicopter parent. These parents are obsessed with the desire to create a perfect life for their kids. This life is one in which the kids never have to face struggles, inconveniences, discomforts, or disappointments. Oh no. That's how you raise a brat, guys. That's not good. It's not good. It is a life in which the children can be launched into adulthood with the best of credentials possible because they have never faced defeat. Even if it meant someone else doing most of the work or making sure the rules were bent just the right way so they could win. Guys, please don't do this to your kids. Oh my goodness. Imagine if the whole world had kids that were raised this way. Awful. Awful. I mean, some mass shooters are raised like this. Sorry, guys. The adolescent children of jet-powered attack helicopter parents look great on paper. I went to high school with a ton of them. Their middle and high school transcripts show high grades, extracurricular activities, and awards and special honors, most of which were never really earned. These teens' mistakes were swept under the carpet, and awards were earned with little or no effort on their part. You have heard their parents say, "It's a competitive world out there, and I want my kids to have every advantage." What they do when they are young should not hold them back later. Sorry. In their zeal to protect their young, these parents swoop down on any person, school, or agency that they see as a threat to their children's impeccable credentials. Armed with verbal smart bombs, they are quick to blast away at anyone who sets high standards for behavior, morality, or achievement that may cause their children to take responsibility for themselves. Declaring their child a victim is a favorite tactical maneuver designed to send school personnel or social workers diving into the trenches for protection. The constant barrage of attack helicopter parents wears down teachers and school administrators. And can I say that their children wear us down too because they misbehave terribly? It is horribly disappointing to watch children learn to blame others for their lack of success instead of becoming people who reach goals through determination and hard work. We daily hear about the jet-powered attack helicopter parents who are not satisfied with protecting their children, but even prefer to destroy the infrastructure of the very agencies that are dedicated to nurturing their children into educated, responsible, moral human beings. The company that hires a child of such parents won't be easily intimidated by parental pressure in the face of substandard performance. I messed that up. In the face of substandard performance. A perfect image and spotless school transcript are poor substitutes for character and the attitude that achievement comes through struggle and perseverance. The workforce of tomorrow and to a great extent, many of those starting work today are in for a rude awakening when they realize that going to work means just that, and that they won't be able to call their parents in to chew their bosses out because their promotion went to someone more willing to put in the elbow grease and apply themselves to learning the skills needed to get the job. All right, so the next kind of parent we're going to talk about is drill sergeant parents. And then there's the laissez-faire parent, the consultant parent, the business consultants, and it goes on and on and on. And honestly, I'm not going to read this whole chapter today. But there you have it. We are finishing at the bottom of page 40. I hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to make a video later about, guys, I've not been to the movie theater since like before I got married. So like 5 years, more than 6 years ago, when my husband and I were dating was the last time that I went to the movie theater. And I am going with my friend and her son. I invited them to go to the IMAX theater, and we're going to see Aladdin. I'm so excited. It's the live action Aladdin with Will Smith as the genie. I am so excited. So I will make a movie review later. Thanks, guys. Bye.